But in this room, we recognize there's a wide range. There are those of you that have maybe been with us for a few months, and those of you that have perhaps been with us for a few years. But what we want to do here, our goal is to provide you all with a few foundational and practical things that have worked to build and maintain momentum over the course of our journey so that you can go and do 3 key things: expand, engage, and then empower your teams.
You know, last year I was in your seats. These seats right here. I was Senior Ruby last year at convention. And, you know, I was sitting here trying to strive to hit that jewel rank because I wanted to go to Maui. That was kind of the carrot that was dangling in front of me. And, you know, it took some strategic moves that I truly had to commit to achieve that goal. But you know what? I made it. So let's talk about a few of those key moves. Tamara talked about, we're going to talk about 3 E's, and I'm going to start with expand. Let's focus on that first point right now. So rewind 12 months. I'm sitting here with my team at convention. I'm listening to Sheila and Medina talk about the power of 3 and thinking, I just really don't know anybody else that wants to be a part of Plexus. I've been putting it out there on Facebook for a year. I've been calling people. What am I going to do? You know, I mean, does anybody feel that? Do they ever feel like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't know who else to tell about it. I'm stuck. Anybody?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm here to tell you, get that false message out of your head, okay? I promise you, there are plenty more people in need of these products and in need of this opportunity, and it's up to you to tell them. So, if you want to continue to expand your team, you need a prospecting list, okay? You need a list of people that you would love to have on your team. So ask yourself, who do I know who's health conscious, wants more energy, maybe has school loans to pay off, is entrepreneurial? Who do I know who's a hairstylist, a personal trainer, a stay-at-home mom, a former network marketer? Those are the people that should be on your list. Ask yourself, who do I see like at the gym or picking up my kids at daycare? Again, those should be on your list.
Yeah, who do you know who has a strong network? You know, a large family and friend base who is compassionate, genuine, passionate about life. If you're sitting there right now and there are names that are coming to mind, I want you to jot those names down.
Those people could be your next rock stars, but they won't be unless you do 3 things. Unless you identify them, build a rapport with them, and get bold and tell them about Plexus. You know, you really want a large list of potential business partners. We like to say like 200 plus. And you need to go through, so get your list of 200, go through and identify those top 20%, well, top 10%, so your top 20 people. And those are going to be the 20 people that you approach first.
Okay, did y'all hear that? You're actually going to have to do something with your list. Don't do what I did, okay? Pretty early on, I sat down. I wrote name after name after name. Everyone in my warm market to my not so warm market and pretty much everything in between. Then what did I do? Gave myself a big pat on the back. Super proud of myself. Made the list. And then I picked up that lengthy list and I put it on my nightstand where it collected dust for at least 2 or 3 months. It was not until I lost a potential whose name was written on that list to another ambassador that I took it seriously. Picked it back up and I acted on it. You guys, I committed to it. I began consistently and persistently reaching out to people whose names were circled on that list. And that is when I truly started to see momentum begin to build.
So my question is for y'all, do you have an ambassador prospect list? If you don't, that is your assignment right after the session. Don't fast go, don't collect $200, make that list. And then I want you to put it in a place that you see it daily and you feel burdened by it, okay? And that list needs to be updated frequently. So some of y'all may have had a list, but if it's 6 months old, that didn't count. I want a new list. I want it updated frequently because hopefully you're deleting people because they're joining your team. I keep my list on my phone in my notes section, and it may be that I just see somebody somewhere and I'm like, ooh, they would be good. So I put them in my notes section on my phone so that I kind of look at it and I'm going to be purposeful about connecting with those people. So you've heard a dream without a plan is just a wish. And we're not going to have a room of wishful thinkers in this room today. So I want you to take that dream team list, your top 20 out of the 200, and I'm going to have y'all do something with it. So what do? There's several different paths to connecting with the people on your list, how you're going to connect with them to tell them about the Plexus opportunity, depending on how you know them. Yesterday, Rebecca Boone was on stage in the Diamond panel, and she was one of my first people that I reached out to with kind of a cold email. As far as she had never asked me about Plexus, I knew that we grew up in the same town, same church, but we were separated by like about a decade. We didn't really have life experience together, and at the time she was living in Pennsylvania. But I knew she was very active on social media. Every time she posted, cute pictures of her kids, she would get 150 likes and 50 comments. I knew she had done network marketing before, so she kind of had the vision. And I knew she wanted to get back to her home state of Arkansas. So that was kind of a ding, ding, ding. That is the type of person you want to go after. So I sent her a message about Plexus. I was wanting to say I sent a short message, but yesterday she gave me away. And so I sent her like 3 pages. So I sent her that message and I just told her, hey, this is why I think you would be great at this. She'd seen my post and seems like, seen pictures of me talking about things. And so I said, this is why I think you'd be great, and can we talk about it? And we met several times. I gave her a sample, and 2 years later, she was my first diamond. Sending emails and Facebook messages for people that are on my prospecting list is now part of my regular business practice. And I'm going to tell you, it takes guts to send these messages. I did it as recently as a week ago, sent out 4 messages to people that I've had on my list, but it's still hard to do that, So I'm gonna tell you, if you send out 10 messages, you're gonna get a handful of people that ignore you, and then you're gonna get people that say no. But here's the deal, what if that one positive response was your first diamond? Are you gonna remember any of those no's? You won't, I promise. You're gonna be like me, proud of my, first cold email prospect up there in front of 8,000 people. So, whether it's a Facebook email, a Facebook message, an email, a phone call, maybe a coffee date, I want you to remember one thing. When you're presenting that business opportunity or, the products and that type of thing, make sure that when you're connecting with people that you're making them feel special, that you let them know that you care about them first and that business opportunity is second. Tell them why you think they're going to succeed in the business, and then give them some space to decide. And ask permission to follow up in kind of a winsome way. I think it's good, especially because with Facebook messages, we can tell, hey, they've seen it, and that's kind of like, oh my gosh, are they going to reply? Are they going to reply? And 2 days later, they're like, they still haven't replied, but they saw it 2 days ago. That's like the worst. I think it's always good to end those kind of reach out messages with something like, hey, I'll follow up with you in a couple days and just see if you have any additional questions. And that way it kind of puts a little bit of a soft pressure on them to have to reply to you. They know, hey, if I don't tell them one way or the other, then I'm gonna keep hearing from them. So I might as well reply and let's get it over with. Okay, Tamara and I have several different prospecting messages for y'all to look at and tweak and go home and make it your own so you can start reaching out to your prospecting list. We're going to give all of that to y'all at the end of the sessions. We have a Facebook group that we've set up that you can access all the materials. We'll put everything in it. You can have a copy of these notes right here. So don't worry about all that. We do have that information for you. Okay, now, I just wanted to add, if there's somebody that you can physically connect with, reach out to them, find excuses to have coffee with them. If they, do some play date at a park, make sure you're there. And again, you really want to make sure that you're letting them know you care about them first. That business opportunity is second. Doesn't mean that you can't be strategic. I'm not saying we're not, you could be a little crafty, but you know what I mean. Okay, we all have a unique network. But what if that network is kind of small? I mean, I'm sure some of you are like, 200? Oh my. I still want 2 people on your list, 200 people on your list. But if you can't sit down at your kitchen table and make that list from just the people that you know, you're gonna have to hit the streets, okay? You're gonna have to go and make new connections, new friends. Not everybody jumps on board Plexus with 5,000 Facebook friends. Tamara and I, when we were talking about, the presentation and stuff, she told me when she joined Plexus, she had 311 Facebook friends. 311. Y'all, she is on the top of the leaderboard every single week. I think she had like 500,000 convention credit points. I mean, she didn't sit around and complain and say, I mean, I put a couple messages out on Facebook and nobody replied. No, she worked for it. She went through, this is what she told me she did. She went through, friended old high school friends and elementary school friends. She made an excuse to friend her neighbor that she was connecting with so that they could see her Facebook post. She really worked to build those connections and build her market. So there's no excuses for y'all. No excuses for any of us. It's really challenged me too. All right, so let's look at a few ways, simple ways that we can meet new people. So if you're at 311, let's figure out how we can bump that up, okay? How we can expand the market, because we want to tell people about this amazing business opportunity. All right, first, you need to be a walking advertisement for Plexus, okay? We've got, I'm sure if you've been to the store, put a t-shirt on, go buy one of those shirts and wear it to the grocery store. And I promise, when you're in line someday at the grocery store, somebody's gonna be like, now what is Plexus? Great, you've got an opportunity to tell them. I actually have a couple people in my downline that's how they met in the line at Walmart. And she's gold now, and she just kind of heard her talking about it and asked her about it, and boom, there you go, okay? Make sure slim up in the break room, or take block before you're out, when you're at lunch with your girlfriends, and let them ask you about it. You don't have to say, let me tell you about Plexus Slim. Just do it, and they're gonna ask you about it. If that's easy, make them ask you, all right? Mention how much more energy you have when you're at your son's 3rd baseball game of the night, and let people say, well, gosh, you used to always complain about being tired. Why do you have so much energy? Chat it up with the mailman when you're sending out Plexus samples. Go join a book club. Go to story time at a different library so that you're kind of meeting new moms. Take a speaking class at a local community college. Really, and truly, the possibilities are endless. We hold an amazing opportunity that deserves to be shared. So I want you to make a list and make the connections. Then continue to expand your network and your sphere of influence so that you can add to that list and share Plexus with them. If you commit to reaching out to your evolving top 20, I promise your team will grow.
Amen. Okay, so you've made your list, you're contacting those top 20, and one signs on. Awesome, right? A new level 1. But now what? What is the most important thing you can do when a new ambassador joins your team? Engage them from the start. Get them started strong. As you grow in your business, it is imperative that you engage your people from the get-go. Establishing belief in your new ambassador is vital to their success. You need to build into them the confidence that they too can be successful, that they can achieve their goals and their dreams, and then give them the tools in order to do so. Excitement is so high in that first week, and it's crucial that you capitalize on that. Just being transparent with you all, I'm all about transparency. I had to learn this the hard way. When I started getting serious about my business and I started signing people up, I signed on quite a few people fairly quickly. I'd send them an email with an attachment or two, add them to my team page, and then, good luck, you got this. Wish them the best. You guys, I did not pour into them. I did not invest in them. And I most certainly did not help lead them towards success. So as a result, as you can probably imagine, I was losing people just as quickly as I was adding them. So the first thing I do now to engage my brand new ambassador, because how you engage your new ambassadors from day one will duplicate down the line is that I set them up with a new ambassador checklist. Just a simple guide to help them get started in those first few crucial weeks. And that as well will be on that Facebook group Elizabeth mentioned. So you guys can take that, tweak it, make it your own. But most importantly, I'm scheduling a training call their very first week. So as soon as they sign up, reach out before their welcome pack even comes in and set up a time to chat with them so that you can help them get started strong. 5 key things I go over in this initial call is establishing your why, right? We know that's important. Establishing your why, goal setting, smart Facebook posting, including that initial post, prospecting list, which we've already gone over, and then resources and tools for training. Establishing your why. Okay, how many of you have heard how important it is to establish your why when you sign up? Right? I mean, we heard it a couple times just yesterday. I actually had a level 1 who snickered at me quite a bit when I asked him to write down his why and then pass it along to me. He did not want to do it. He pushed back on me. But you know what? He did do it. And a couple months later, he came back and said, Tamara, I'm so glad you pushed me to do that because inevitably those ups and downs came in his business, and having his why established, his purpose for doing Plexus, it brought him back to his foundation. It helped him to refocus and keep on going. So ask your new ambassadors, what do you want out of this? What is your dream? What is the purpose of Plexus for you? And then help them establish that. Goal setting. What does your new ambassador want to accomplish in their very first month? Cover the cost of their products? Make $300 extra? Maybe go silver? Regardless of what those first goals are, you have to help them have a plan of action in order to achieve it.
Yeah, you definitely, I think that's very important for a lot of people. I mean, it depends on your personality, but I'm kind of tend to be, I want to see where this is going, you know? So if somebody says, hey, I want to get my products paid for, great, show them how to do that with 3 or 4 preferred customers. If they're saying, you know, I want to cut down on a nursing shift, or I need, you know, an extra $1,000 to help me do X, Y, Z. So show them, okay, if you get this many team members, you can kind of maintain this PV, this many preferred customers, you can reach that goal. You really do need to make it tangible for them.
And it's up to you as the leader to help them define their goals, and then again, create a plan in order to achieve it. Goals are meant to drive one towards action and to provide intentionality with your business. And one thing I believe is so crucial, you all, is accountability with goal setting. Have your new ambassador write their goals down and pass them along to you so that you, as their leader, can help encourage them and keep them accountable to those first month's goals. So basically, your newbie's going to have a little bit of homework, but that's okay. I've actually found them to be very receptive to that because it's giving them something just tangible that they can do right away when they get started. The first Facebook post. Okay. I definitely want to know the answer to this. How many of you have had a new ambassador come on board and they say, yeah, I mean, I'm excited about Plexus, but there is no way that I'm sharing until I have an amazing testimony to share. Right? I mean, I've heard it a lot, a whole lot. In fact, I heard it just last month. I had a dear friend of mine from college who had been on that list for months. Name circled, highlighted, checked, starred. She finally was ready, and she finally joined my team. I was ecstatic. So when I reached out to her just a couple days after she signed up and set up that call, the very first thing she said, sure, Tamara, I'll jump on a call with you. Just so you know, there's no way I'm sharing Plexus with anyone until I have an amazing testimony to share. We as the leader need to help take the fear and the hesitancy out of sharing and encourage them to post and share with their family and friends right away. You know what? It generates excitement in starting their journey. It does. It gets them excited. It gets them pumped up. Show them they don't have to have a life-altering testimony in order to start sharing. They can share your story. They can share my story. They can simply share what they are excited about and looking forward to in their journey. So here are a couple of examples of level ones who should be in this room somewhere of their initial Facebook post. This is Megan Garrity and Catherine Jones, and they had really great initial Facebook posts, and they got a lot of attraction right away. This is another example that we'll have posted on our group after these sessions. A third example would be a picture of your newbie, maybe holding their pink drink or all their welcome pack goodies with a big smile and saying, I'm jumping on the Plexus bandwagon. I've watched Tamara lose 19 pounds and 2 prescription meds for her migraines and gain financial freedom through this company. I 100% believe in the products, and I'm so excited to, whatever it might be, lose weight, gain energy, get rid of sugar cravings. Who is ready to join me on this journey to get healthy? Have them make these their own. Use their own unique personality. The only magic formula here is to show enthusiasm, excitement, and passion, because that is what people are drawn to. And I believe 100% that passion alone will help build belief in their audience. So have passion, encourage them to have passion. The fourth thing I go over on my initial call is the prospecting list, which we talked about in pretty good detail. So hopefully you have a good grasp on how crucial that can really be for your business. So again, go home if you haven't already and make that list and then act on it.
I do want to add, I tell all of my, as far as the prospecting list, this kind of goes in this category, I tell all my new ambassadors, when you signed up, send out an email to family and friends and just tell them, hey, I just wanted to let y'all know I've just joined a health and wellness company, or I'm starting a health and wellness business. Give them an overview of kind of the products and what the products can help with. And then just say, if you know anybody that has these issues, could you send them my way? Let them know you're going to be posting about Facebook, posting on Facebook about it. But this kind of gives them this jumping off point, and they'll pay a little bit more attention to what you're doing on Facebook because they have this foundation that they received. Plus, it just kind of, puts it out there for everybody to see it all at once as far as your closest contacts. And really, send it to 300 people, put them in the blind copy. They don't know. And it's not a salesy one. It's just kind of like, if I opened a new clothing store, I would tell all my friends about it. I'd go, hey, I'm doing this, come by and see me sometime. It's just kind of this, hey, I just wanted you to know and be excited for me about this new business. And, again, not salesy, but it'll just give them this blanket of information, and hopefully they'll be paying more attention to your Facebook post and your contacts and all that. And it could generate some sales, it may not, but I promise people will watch you more closely at that point.
My final point in that initial call is resources and training. We have a plethora of information available to us. Educate them on what is out there and how to find it. So we have back office resources, Plexus power tools, YouTube training videos, our team training pages, and so on. There's so much information out there, you guys. Plug them in. Most people are overwhelmed when they bring on a new ambassador. They don't know how to properly coach them. They don't know how to guide them. They don't know how often should I reach out, or how do I set goals with them. And you guys, I get that. I used to feel that way too. I felt that way for a long while. But we have to train our teams well. We have to learn how to train our teams well. And that starts with you as the leader. Be engaged with your team. Teach your team to be problem solvers and encourage each new team member to begin developing their own leadership skills from the get-go. And that starts with that initial call. Great thing about this call is that you can implement it one of two ways. One-on-one with your level one, or bring in your upline on the training call. So you're connecting that new ambassador to another source of support and training encouragement. I have several level ones in this room right now that I've been on a training call with them and their new ambassador to show support to them and to show them that I am more than willing to invest, pour in, and hopefully to inspire and motivate them. Okay, of course, as you're growing, and your team is growing, you want to continually be available to your team members for support as their teams grow. So a few months ago, I implemented what I like to call the mini conference call. They have been very effective to target and train my team to their specific needs. So for example, I might take a growing silver team and their downline, or a gold, senior gold, and their team. This does two things. One, it recognizes that particular team and shows them how important they are, that I'm willing to invest in them and pour into them, and they're not just a number to me, that I want to help them grow their business. And then secondly, it allows you to address specific needs within that team. You know, one team might be in need of encouragement and motivation. Another might be looking for tips on how to grow outside of their warm market, or maybe to move, customers over to ambassadors. I love doing these because I'm able to pour in and connect with so many different levels and different legs of my team and meet them right where they are at, what they need in their business. They've definitely been a factor in the growth my team has experienced over the last few months. And the best thing about these, I'm not the only one doing them. These have duplicated down the line. There are people all over, different leaders across a variety of legs and on a variety of levels that have picked these up and are having great success with them. Weekly team calls. Every week on Sunday evening, I host a team training call. There really is something special about dialing in to your specific Plexus team, your specific Plexus family that generates engagement. We have hundreds of people that jump on those calls every week. We have a new topic every week. Sometimes I'll lead the training. Other times I call upon different leaders on my team to come and share. And then oftentimes we have leaders all over Plexus, guest speakers come on and share their wisdom and their knowledge with our team. It has been one of my very favorite tools to engage my team on a weekly basis, and it's something I have felt has held so much value, and they can always count on it. So if you are not, or if your upline is not doing a weekly call or even a bi-weekly call, I want to challenge you to take on the task. Can anybody do that? Yeah? It'll make a difference. You guys, I was a senior gold ambassador when I started these. And I have done them ever since because I've seen so much value come from them. You are the CEO of your business, okay? There's no magic way. This is just what has worked for me. The goal here is just to take away that you just have to engage those new team members from the start. Get them started strong, equip them. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. Just keep in mind, because this was my struggle at the beginning. When that new ambassador pays that $34.95, that's not when the work ends. That's when the work begins, where you really have to dig in and invest.
Right. But the good news is, if you put that time in on the front end, you're going to get major benefits on the back end. So you've gotten your ambassador off to the right start if you've provided them with a knowledge base, equipped them with the proper tools, and then you've pointed them to available resources to use. So you're kind of like the mama bird who provides this cozy little nest for birds and, bringing over the juicy worms every day. You've given your little babies the foundation to be successful. And that's really your responsibility as their sponsor. But as the mama bird, you cannot keep bringing those worms to your entire downline all the time. You couldn't keep up with their growing needs, and hopefully everyone in here has dual goals. And at some point you're going to get so big, there really is not time in your day to feed your entire downline. And that little nest is going to get kind of cramped, okay? So at some point, just like the mama bird, you're going to have to kick those ambassadors out of the nest. And, let them fly on their own. Some of y'all have built this culture, I think, of codependence, and it's limiting you. And I'm here to say, you have got to enable your future leaders to fly. So if you have engaged and equipped your downline well through some of these tools that Tamara's been talking about, you can feel okay about giving them that nudge, okay? Some of them are gonna fall to the ground. That's inevitable, but that's okay. You've done what you could do. And they've probably benefited from Plexus. They're healthier. They may have made a couple $100. Great. But those that you kick out of the nest that kind of start flapping their wings, or they're working hard, those are who you need to get up under, okay? You're gonna be there and you're gonna help them soar. I think.
Yeah. Have you all ever heard the 80-20 rule? Yeah. So 80% of your business will come from 20% of your team. And I have definitely found that to be true for my team. 80% of your efforts then should be them. Challenge them to take on topics for a team call, or maybe ask them to do a video training for their team. Push them a little bit, get them out of that comfort zone. You can even create a smaller, leaders-only Facebook page where you can really pour in and invest into your business builders, your leaders. One of the tremendous benefits of network marketing is that there are team members with a variety of strengths. Call upon those strengths. Know your downline and call upon them to benefit the entire team. If you have a product guru, build them up and ask them to share product knowledge with the team. If you have someone who loves to speak and share Plexus with others, encourage them, challenge them to hold monthly meetings, and then be there as a support to help them do so. Capitalize on every leader's individual strengths and help them cultivate those strengths to lead and grow their own teams.
Right. So you're going to see a twofold benefit when you do that. You're going to have your people grow as leaders, and it's going to take some of that training burden off of you to free you up to go back to expand and engage with new team members. So our 3 E's that we've talked about are kind of like a wash, rinse, and repeat cycle. So we're continually in the process of expanding our network, with our prospecting list, so that we can sign new ambassadors and engage and equip them from the start. But at some point with those people, we move from coach to cheerleader, and we have to empower them to take ownership of their own business and engage and, expand and engage and empower their own team. If you get stuck on any of these E's too long, your business is going to stagnate. I've seen some people that have gotten off to such a great start expanding their business, but then they get stuck in this engaging phase. And like I mentioned before, they've got their nest full of all these birds, and it's that codependence, and their downline needs them all the time. So they don't have time to go back to the expanding phase. And let's be honest, we all know we need blue lines to, cancel out some of those inevitable white lines that we're all getting. So you've got to make sure that you're continually in that cycle and be cognitive of it so you don't get stuck. But again, the good news is that you don't have to be stuck, and hopefully you're going to leave here today with a plan of action to propel you to that next level of business.
So we are going to expand our business, engage our new people from the start, and then empower them to do the same. All the documents that we've referenced, our prospecting list, the new ambassador checklist, and so on, they will be available on a link, a Facebook group, after these sessions are over. So remember, you are the leaders. You are impacting lives, and you guys are the ones with influence. We truly do believe in you.
People, and you don't just want to get 3 people. You want 3 people who have the belief, who understand where you're going, who understand that the product, and it's not like the old days where you only had one product, but whatever product's going to help them, that's what you focus on. That's what's going to be needed. See, so much about what we do here gets wrapped up in just the slim, because that's the flagship product. But Slim isn't the only product. Some of you that were at leadership in Orlando know that I told you my daughter was going to Haiti. So we said, okay, let's get her on that probiotic thing, I don't know, BioCleanse or whatever the heck it is. Okay. I just know that it works, that's all I know. So, she's flying to Haiti. They have this massive outbreak in Haiti of a virus that once you get it, it will make the youngest child feel like they're 95 years old. Their bones, their body, everything aches. This thing was at its prime when she went. Every day, she took the BioCleanse, and she took the probiotic, and she never got sick. And she's running around with all those little crazy kids, having a blast. We're from the South, and I'm happy to teach her etiquette, because she'd get a picture, and she's got all these cute little black kids, and then she'd put, I want one, Daddy. And it's like, no, honey, you can't do that, okay? It's like, she just loved them so much, and to see that, but it was that product from you guys. wasn't slim. Now she's used slim, but it was a different product. So you guys have to learn to build trust. And what we're going to do is we're going to go live with no slides since we don't have it. So we're going to go old school, okay? Just so I can keep track of where I'm going. Oh man, these lights are great. I can read myself. Okay. Maybe I can read it. There we go. Okay, so I want you guys to think about something. The whole focus today of what we're going to look at is for you to focus in on trust, influence. And here's where I want you to start out at with trust, with belief. You. Everything I want to talk about today is how you can go out and find prospects, how you can go out and get a customer, how you can close the sale. Every bit of that is going to be technique. But here's what you've got to look at. You've got to sell yourself first. And some of you are going to hit a wall. You're going through the first level of leadership. You're getting there. You're excited. You're going to leave convention fired up. You're going to go home and you are going to hit a dadgum wall. And if you don't believe, if you don't trust yourself, then you won't be able to peck through that wall and find the window or the door or jump over it or blow the thing up. It doesn't matter. That's what's going to happen. You have to trust yourself first. To get that trust, you've got to believe in the leadership of this company. You've got to believe that they are making decisions through the advisory board to better what you guys have. You listened yesterday a little bit as the Diamond shared some of their journey of where they've come from, what they're doing, where they're going. You guys have to do that. How many were here Thursday when I had my presentation and I put up the foundation of the World Trade Center? Okay. I love that word picture, so we're going to use that today. I want you guys to realize that you're building your foundation now. You don't even have all 4 walls up. You probably just have 1 wall. You've got to look inside. This is a technique, start from the inside out, not the outside in. You've got to look inside. What do I need to do to be able to take this to the next level? What do I need to do to make sure I believe in my heart where I'm going? Trust. I want you to write this down since it's not up here. Trust is the belief that you have in something like yourself. Now think about this for a minute. How many of you truly, don't raise your hands, just think this one out. How many of you truly, truly believe when you're watching the Diamonds, when you're taking your pictures with them, when you're watching their documentaries, and I'm talking really believe deep that can be you. Now think about that for a minute. How many of you truly, truly believe? See, it's easy to believe when you're in a room with 800 and everybody says, me, oh yes! But I'm talking about when the lights are out, the clothes are in a pile, you got your jammies on, and you're sitting there looking at the stars wondering, do I have what it takes? See, if you wonder yourself if you have what it takes, you're not going to close a prospect, you're not going to close an ambassador, you're not going to make a sale. Oh, you might make one to mom. Because she's safe, she loves you. You can go and say, Mom, try this pink drink. Just pour it in here, shake it up, it's going to be good. And then nothing happens. And all of a sudden, you never talk to nobody else because if it didn't work for mommy, it might not work for somebody else. And all of a sudden, that trust in yourself, trust in you making the right decision, trust in the company, was gone. See, you have to believe. You have to believe so deep that if it goes beyond the product, maybe that product didn't work. You know what? Product didn't work for me. Now, yeah, I know I didn't do it religiously every day. Okay, so there's a reason. But here's what I learned. I was having breakfast. Everything in Deborah Lawson's house happens in front of her kitchen window. So I'm sitting in the kitchen and we're chatting about my experience. And she says, tell me what you did. And I said, all I did was, take the pink drink and, then I'd stay on the road and I'd do my thing. And then I'd remember to take the pink drink and yada, yada, yada. And we chatted some more. And she said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the, is it called triplex? Is that what it is? She said, take the triplex. She just wanted to upsell me, that's all right. So I took the triplex. And it's like, wow, I'm feeling better. This thing seems to be working. And then all of a sudden I thought, I should be walking. I don't need to ride the bus or fly or do anything. I can walk. And started walking a little extra, I've only rode one shuttle, and that was to the office. It's because I couldn't get it on the GPS to walk it. Okay? I've just been walking because that is a lifestyle change. I had to realize, you know what? I know they preach all the time, man, just take the pink drink, don't change the way you eat. They haven't seen how I eat. Okay? So that wasn't going to work. And it's like as soon as I changed some things, as soon as I started to realize this is a lifestyle, I can do this. I can get back to that weight that I had in the Marine Corps. I don't know if that's keg is going to become a six-pack again, but I can lose the weight a little bit. I can try to get there. See, trust in ourselves first. If you don't build the trust, and here's how you build the trust. It's the way you talk to yourself. If you get in front of the mirror, I know, coming out of the bathroom, and there you are, and you've had 2 kids, I started to say 6, but let's just go with 2 kids. And you're looking, and you're thinking, wow, how can anybody look at me? That's going to put you in a state of mind that's going to be kind of depressing. I'm not as perky as I used to be. I got a little bit more rolls than I used to. I can't spell cellulite, but I think I have some. And the guys are no different. Man, they come out of high school and college, and they got their chest up here, and they're looking good. And mama lies to them all the time about how good they look, And then they get out of the bathroom, and they look in the mirror, and they go, and wipe it off. And all of a sudden, they realize, man, I don't have nothing, it fell. And when they try to look further south, they can't see a doggone thing. And it's like, this is terrible stuff here, okay? We gotta do something, And it's like, all of a sudden, we men do the same thing. It's like, man, I'm never going to be what I used to be. It's no wonder she always has a headache. I got a headache. He's making an appointment with the doctor just to make sure things are where they're supposed to be. It's bad. And we get depressed too, okay? Because of the questions that we're feeding our mind, because of the statements. So you got to think back. Paige has had 6 kids. Now you got to understand. I'm going to give you a vision. We're 16 years old. We're growing up in the youth group together. I'm a leader in the youth group. That isn't what they call it. Something about being a rebel or a sinner or something. But I was in the youth group. Now she is an angel. Never does anything wrong. Her dad works part-time at the church as the chef. She's just that sweet girl that you never know. Because she's quiet, doesn't hang out, doesn't do anything. And then one day, because I ran the sound, she and the sound, you got pictures. Now we're in this auditorium, and the sound booth is upstairs. But a bunch of those volunteers built it so there wasn't no like steps. You had to climb up a ladder type stuff to get there. They caught us up there once, locked the ladder after that, put a whole thing so we couldn't climb it. Bad deal. But here's what happened, 16 years old, a size 1, and she went up the ladder first. I thought I was going to heaven. It was, I mean, I could have spoken tongues that night. That was an amazing time. But that's at 16. Okay. Now we're only 3 months apart, and she's older than I am, and I'm 51. So, when she gets out of the shower today, she's no size 1. But what I remember here, and is penetrated in my heart here, is that girl I fell in love with. I was 16, okay? Love those L words, I tell you. Just gotta have in the right order, okay? But that's what you've got to do. Stop looking at yourself at 35, 45, 55, 105. Stop looking at yourself as, look at my baby fat. That ain't baby fat. I'll tell you what that is. Not mine. Now think about this. 2 people came together and made a life. 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives. I'm telling you, what you have here is just the aftermath of love for a brand new creature that you brought into this world. And if you start looking at yourself that way, you start to realize, you know what? I can be somebody. I may not get back to what I looked like in my 20s. Maybe you will. It's all up here and up here. But if you start talking to yourself different, your trust will be built. All you guys, well, I'm never going to look like that again. Well, not with a beer in one hand and a remote in the other. It doesn't work that way. Fine, Troy, I'll get rid of the beer. You've got to do some stuff. You've got to start chasing your dreams again. Men are the dumbest creatures God ever created. Okay? Call themselves leaders and they chase women all their life. It's the craziest thing you ever could see. Okay? Guys, you got to step it up too. You're in this business to build it. So if you're going to build this business, act like it. You expect a wife or a child or anybody else to follow you. You expect to close somebody when you're mealy-mouthed, wishy-washy, I don't know if this is going to work. You got to believe here. I lost my place, see what I mean? You've got to build influence with people. Now listen, influence is an interesting thing. If you're a con artist, influence is usually replaced with manipulation. Same concept. Just watch Fox News today. If I can get this guy's name, I'm going to give it to you because he'd make a great Plexus person. But he's a con man in New York. Con 2 couples paid him $400 a piece for tickets on a free ferry. We need that kind of guy. That boy can sell, doggone it. It's like, man. But I got to thinking about that coming up here and I thought, okay, the sign says free. And this couple's standing there wanting to go on the ferry, and this guy goes, hey man, for $400 I'll get you on the ferry. Okay, here. See, sometimes people don't even understand because they're influenced by the wrong stuff. We're influenced by the wrong stuff. We're so worried that people are going to think that we're trying to manipulate them into doing something that we don't say nothing at all. Influence. is getting someone to do what they wanted to do and they just didn't know it, or they didn't know how. I have never met a woman that smiled up at me and said, I want to be 400 pounds in a wheelchair. I've never met a guy who says, I'd love to not get rid of my 600-pound weight and sit here and just eat chips. People want to change, but they are as scared to change as you are to talk to them. They're afraid people will make fun of them. They're afraid that they're worthless. And it's not that people have probably told them that. They told themselves that. And you believe everything that you tell yourself. And that just builds that wall. And you're in a position to break through a wall and take over the Plexus leadership. If you believe here, if you trust yourself here. You can go buy a book. I talked about it the other day. Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It's one of the most boringest books you'll ever read because it's very technical. But I love the brain. I've studied the brain, I've studied people. I can tell you about a psychopath. I just studied it because I want to know about people. I want to know the people I touch. As a bail bond agent, I would bond out little 17-year-old girls, underage, selling themselves on the street. And we would sit there, and I would talk to them. And I would say, how did you get into this business? And they'd say, well, whatever the story was, and usually it had something to do with a relative. I said, well, let's get you out. No, this is all I'm worth. Nobody'd ever want me. I can't change. This is all I know. Teeth rotten out, body odor bad, torn apart. Could be the same night, could be the next night. We'd get a call, and I'd go bond out. A very high priced call. These are 2 clients, constant clients. And I'd say, why are you in this business? And the story was the same. Somewhere along the line, she'd been used and abused. In her mind, she told herself, this is all I'm worth. But the only difference was, she got so angry that she realized, you know what, this is power to me. I control the situation, at least for 2 seconds. And never realized what she was doing to herself. A lot of times, guys, that's what we do. We've been born in different arenas, we've been born in different circumstances, and we come to the conclusion that this is all we are. And since I don't have slides, you get to be treated with my story today a little bit. I'm going to go into this. Now picture this. It's 1963. A young country girl moves to the big city, gets a job at a very high, prestigious financial service company as the secretary for the vice president of international expansion. And he just praises the fire out of her. She's the greatest thing next to sliced bread. You changed my life. Oh my gosh, what would I do without you? But what he doesn't realize at the time is that this little girl had been abused by her brother sexually growing up. Her daddy died at 14. She had a lot of mental issues. And he took advantage of that. But in the 60s, you definitely didn't have abortions because you couldn't find a place. If you did, you had to bring your own coat hanger. It was not a pretty time. But it wasn't a pretty time for a single mom either. 1964,